Hello and welcome to this demo video. Before we get started, I'd just like to explain to you a few things which will relate to all of the basic range spreadsheets. Number one, there is a key on the intro and setup tab of all of the spreadsheets showing what the different color headers mean. The blue headers mean that the cell's formulated, so it's locked and you can't change it. The yellow headers are where you can input data, and occasionally there might be some gray headers, which is just a different kind of data input, but we'll include instructions as and when that happens. The other thing that you can be aware of is there are ways in which you can damage the spreadsheet. So please do take a look at the link where you see this image, which will take you to a web page to show you how to better preserve your spreadsheet. Please feel free to keep a blank version of the spreadsheet somewhere, so that if you do mess up a spreadsheet that you're using, you can in fact just open a new one, a blank one. And some of the spreadsheets only last for a year, and then you've got a blank one to start the following year. So do keep a blank copy as a backup somewhere. And lastly, wherever you see this image, you can click on it. It'll take you back to the store where you purchased this product to see if you've got anything, any more products. One last thing, to see a demo video, you can click on this on a link that looks like this in order to go to the demo video, but that'll take you to the most recent demo. If in fact we've done upgrades and you're using an older version and you'd like to see the demo relating to your version, then do click on the watch on YouTube link, which will take you to that specific video on YouTube. So I think that's all you need to know. So without further ado, let's move on to this demo video. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to the demo video for the location sales report. What is a location sales report? Well, it's basically a graph of it's a map of the UK, and you can place your sales broken down into price bands into the postcode where they've been made. So let me show you how this works. On this one, you don't need to do any settings on the first page. It's all set up already. All you need to do is enter your sales data. Date, obviously it's quite important. Client description, I haven't put anything in there. You can put in whatever you want in there. And their postcode. Now, the postcode, well, we'll get onto the postcode in a second, and obviously the sales value, the value of the sales. Postcode, as you can see, I've only got the first half of the postcode. I don't have the full postcode. Obviously, on a map of the UK, you're not going to be able to zoom in. It's just going to basically show you UK map. We're not going to get into the nitty-gritty of exactly where in AB11 it is. So if you put in the first half of the postcode, that will do. If you've already got this data and it's got the whole postcode, that doesn't matter as long as there's a space in the postcode. So if you can't type in the full postcode. So for example, if you had AB111AB, I don't even know if there is such a postcode, you can't type that in here, it won't let you. But if you had that data and you pasted values into here, it will still work. It will still accept that, but all it's looking at is the first half. It finds that space, it takes anything before the space and it uses that. So as long as you've got the space in between there, that will work. As you can see, it's found the location and it says it's plotted it on the map. If you were to come and select it, you have a drop-down list, you wouldn't have that option. You'd only have the AB11. So you only really need the first half of the postcode and the sales value. And that is all you have to do. You just put the data in just like that. Now, if you have a situation where you've got some weird postcode that, well, let me show you the map first and I'll show you how to add on a postcode. Here's the map. As you can see, you can break you can put in your figures here to break these categories down. So the white ones you can change, so you can change these, and the gray ones will change, adjust accordingly. So you can break your cells down into categories depending on the cell value. And as you can see here, those are the totals per band and your grand total, and then your breakdown by value. So that you can edit these figures over here. You can also adjust the start and end dates. It will include the dates that you put up here, but if you put in, say, 1st of January to 30th of January or whatever it might be, or you will then include those dates and all dates in between, and it'll refilter. So any sales that come in between those dates, including the dates up here, will then show on the graph. So that's fairly straightforward. You can filter by dates. If you want to see a month at a time, that kind of thing, you can see it. Now let's see what happens if you get a postcode that's not really programmed. I've already programmed in, I think, about 3,000 postcodes hidden away in the spreadsheet with this longitude and latitude. Why do you need that? Well, because Excel supports graphs. The later versions of Excel supports graphs, but at the moment, when I made this, it didn't really understand the UK. It sees the UK as a country. It doesn't see England and Scotland and Wales as different countries. But anyhow, it was very flaky on the postcodes. It knew some of them, it didn't know others. It really was, in my opinion, quite useless. So what I've done is, this is actually a map which is behind a graph. So it's a graph plotting the locations based on longitude and latitude. So that was the first issue, was actually finding a map that translated onto paper to match longitude and latitude in the graph. That was the first mission, because none of the maps seem to do that. So it's not 100% accurate. As you can see there, that guy is out in the ocean, should probably be over there. So, you know, it's slightly out in places, but it still gives you a good idea. This guy looks like he's out in the ocean, but that's actually the Isle of Man that's over there. So it's not 100% accurate, but it's very, very, very close. So it's actually the longitude and latitude plotted over an image of a map. So that's how that map works. So what you need to do in order to accommodate that, if you want to add a new postcode, let's just say, for argument's sake, I don't even know if there is such a postcode. Let's have a look. RS1. Let's see if there's an RS1. Yeah, there we go. Location. Now it's got a cross because it says there is no RS1. So it wants to know where the RS1 is. So if we go to the extra locations, as you can see in your cell data, it says one missing location up there. If you go to extra locations, then all you can do is you can manually add one. So you can manually add RS1 as their postcode. Now it asks you for the latitude between 49.75 and 61. Let's just make it 49.8. We'll make it right up at the top left so we can see it when we come onto the map. And -8 to minus, let's make that -8. Make it -8.5. So that will allow RS1. Now we've added RS1, we can sort here by in alphabetical order if we want to, if you're adding a few. Then when you go back to your sales data, RS1 now says it does have a location because you've added it on. And when you go to your drop-down list, you'll find RS1 is actually now in your drop-down list in alphabetical order. So if you're using your drop-down list to select it, that new postcode you've added will now be in the drop-down list in alphabetical order, all ready to go. And if we go to the map report, where's RS1? There we go, there's RS1 right in the bottom corner where we added it. So you can add postcodes on, you can put your sales data in, you can adjust these figures to adjust the bands, the price bands here for the different colors, and those will then appear on your map. And as I said, you can filter by date, start date and end date. It'll just filter the dates on your map. So that is that. If this is useful to you, I wish you all the best with it, obviously. If you're looking for something more specific, so you want to have a zoomed in map, maybe you're dealing with locations, maybe not dealing with the whole of the UK, and you want to have a little bit more, precise, it is more accurate for the graphs if we zoom into certain areas. So if we're doing, say, for example, Greater London, I've done one like that before. It's a lot more accurate. You obviously get a bigger picture of London, so you can see a bit more accurately. It's not going to go down to like the street and give you directions and all that kind of thing, but it will be fair. It will be a lot more accurate than a map of the whole UK. So if that's something that you want, please do get in touch. I'm sure I can help you with things like that. But if this is useful to you, then go ahead and use it. And I wish you all the best with your sales plotting. Thank you and goodbye.